If I told you that inside you, in the invisible depths of your own body, there is a fountain of eternal youth that very few know? And if the secret to maintaining your physical vigor, your mental clarity, and your personal magnetism did not depend on external potions or costly treatments, but on an energy that you yourself generate daily? Since time immemorial, the ancient masters of Tao and the alchemists of the wisest civilizations knew something that today modern science is barely beginning to glimpse. Sexual energy is the most concentrated essence of vital force. It is not only the impulse that gives rise to physical life, it is the primordial elixir that, if preserved and transformed, revitalizes the body, strengthens the mind, and lengthens life. The wise men of Tao called it Jing Qi, the sexual energy that flows from the lower region of the abdomen. This energy, in its natural course, has a single biological mission: to leave the body to create another human being. But here lies the forgotten secret. If instead of allowing its constant liberation, you learn to elevate it and recirculate it, that same energy that creates life outside can create life inside. The Taoists affirmed that whoever achieves this inner alchemy builds an immortal body, not in the literal sense, but as a rejuvenated, strengthened, and free of premature deterioration organism. Is it possible to reverse wear, preserve vitality, and live longer with fullness? The answer, according to these millennial teachings, is yes. Through simple but profound practices such as testicular breathing, energetic massage, the recirculation of qi, and the activation of internal luminances, sun, moon, and star, anyone can learn to preserve their sexual essence, transform it, and return it to the energy system. In this video, we are going to unveil the mysteries that support this ancestral wisdom. We will explore how sexual energy can be transformed into vital force, how this process delays aging, strengthens the immune system, and provides mental clarity, and how to integrate these techniques into your daily life to cultivate longevity, vitality, and lasting youth. If you have ever wondered how some individuals radiate magnetism, vigor, and serenity, even in advanced ages, this knowledge is the key. Because true youth is not found outside, but in the domain xual and transformation of the energy that flows within you. Get ready. What you are about to learn is not just a technique, it is an internal alchemy path that can radically transform your life, your health, and your perception of time itself. To understand the magnitude and depth of this knowledge, we must travel to the ancient mountains of China, where for millennia Taoist masters observed nature with a patience and meticulousness that today seem almost mythical to us. They wondered, how is it that certain trees lived thousands of years while other organisms died quickly? Why did some animals seem to preserve their vitality throughout their entire life? Through observation, meditation, and experimentation, these wise men came to an amazing conclusion. The key to longevity was not just food or physical exercise, but the conservation and refinement of the internal vital energy, which they called Jing Qi, the fundamental essence that sustains life. This essence, they said, resides mainly in the kidneys and is expressed through sexual energy. Every time this essence is unconsciously released, either due to excess sexual activity, overflowing emotions, or inappropriate life habits, the reserve of vitality is reduced and aging is accelerated. Master Sun Tzu Miao, considered one of the greatest doctors in ancient China, said, "The wise man stores his essence like the dragon stores his pearl. Whoever wastes his seed shortens his life." For this reason, practices such as the cultivation of sexual energy and the internal alchemy, these techniques taught to refine the Jing and transmute it into Qi, vital energy, and later into Shen, spiritual energy. This transmutation ascended through the spine, nourishing the brain, organs, and finally the energy field. At the same time in India, Tantra and Yoga also spoke of this alchemy. The yogis taught that sexual energy, known as leaves, being conserved and sublimated, fed the kundalini and allowed to reach states of enlightenment, vigorous health, and longevity. Both in the East and in the West, as even in European Hermeticism, there was talk of the transmutation of sulfur and mercury, symbols of the masculine and feminine principle. Sexual energy was seen as the cornerstone of physical, mental, and spiritual development. These knowledges were not massively shared. They were transmitted in closed lineages, only to disciples who had demonstrated maturity and discipline, since it was understood that the misuse of these techniques could be more harmful than beneficial. Therefore, in modernity, with the trivialization of sexuality and the lack of conscious orientation, this wisdom was lost or was relegated to hidden texts. However, in recent decades, teachers like Mantak Chia have rescued and modernized these teachings, adapting them for contemporary practitioners. Today, you have access to this knowledge. Understanding the history that supports it not only gives context, but also honors a millennial tradition that can rejuvenate body, mind, and soul. Imagine for a moment that your body is a living alchemical laboratory, a sacred temple where each cell, each organ, and each gland act as pieces of an energetically masterfully designed machinery. Now, within this temple, there is a more powerful fuel than any other, your sexual energy. If you know how to refine it, you can feed each vital system. If you waste it, it slowly drains your strength, mutilates your vitality, and accelerates the aging process. According to Taoist teachings, sexual energy, yin, is the most valuable raw material of the body. This energy is generated in the kidneys and sexual glands, and is directly related to the production of hormones, cell regeneration, and general vitality. From a modern perspective, we could say that this essence nourishes the endocrine system, responsible for the hormonal secretion that regulates growth, metabolism, reproduction, and emotional well-being. Now, here is the key. The body uses large amounts of biochemical resources to produce sexual fluids. When these fluids are released unconsciously, the body is forced to constantly replenish those resources, which gradually exhausts the kidneys, adrenal glands, and other vital organs. Symptoms may include chronic fatigue, loss of muscle tone, aged skin, hair loss, and mental fog. But if instead of releasing this energy, you learn to recirculate it inwards, something extraordinary happens. This essence returns to nourish the brain, spinal cord, organs, and glands, strengthening the entire system. Taoists expressed it like this: the sexual essence is transformed into qi. The qi is transformed into Shen, spirit. How is this process achieved? Through a series of practices that we could summarize in 3 fundamental stages. First, activation of sexual energy. The first step is to generate the energy without reaching the climax. This can be done through conscious self-exploration or simply by stimulating the lower zone through deep breaths in the lower abdomen, the Tantien. The idea is to awaken the energy, feel a tingling or subtle heat that accumulates in the pelvic region. Second, ascending recirculation. This is where the real alchemy begins. Through the contraction of the PC muscle, the same that we use to stop the urine, combined with a slow and deep breath, we push the energy towards the spine. With the mind and visualization, we guide the energy through the central channel, going up towards the abdomen, the heart, and finally towards the crown. Taoists called this the microcosmic circuit. Third, storage and transformation. Once the energy has ascended, it is stored in the three treasures of the body: the lower Tantian, physical energy and vitality; the heart, emotional balance and magnetism; the head, pineal, mental clarity and intuition. By redistributing the sexual energy towards these areas, we nourish the organs, balance the emotions, and expand the consciousness. This process not only rejuvenates the body, but also increases longevity, immunity, personal magnetism, and inner peace. A precise metaphor is that of a rechargeable battery. Most people constantly discharge their battery without recharging it. Sexual alchemy teaches to re-inject that energy into the system, increasing our life charge. Now that we have understood the basis of the cultivation of sexual energy and its transmutation, it is essential to delve into the nuances that make the difference between a superficial practice and a true internal alchemy. Because as the wise Taoists taught, power is not only in the technique, but in the quality of consciousness and the sensitivity with which it is practiced. First, we must address a key concept: the difference between accumulation and stagnation. Many practitioners, especially beginners, happen to accumulate when they begin to retain their sexual energy without knowing how to distribute it correctly. This can generate symptoms of discomfort, irritability, anxiety, insomnia, or tensions in the pelvic area. Taoists warned that sexual energy is like water in a dam. If the door is not opened so that it flows into the rest of the system, internal pressure increases and the system collapses. Therefore, conscious and daily recirculation is essential. It is not enough to retain. You have to move and transform. Deep abdominal breathing, ascending visualization, and energetic massage are the keys to avoid stagnation. Imagine that with each soft breath and contraction, you push that energy like a luminous river that rises and irrigates each cell of your body. This constant flow is what keeps vitality without overload. The second important nuance is emotional quality during practice. If you cultivate sexual energy with thoughts of anxiety, guilt, or obsessive fantasies, that vibration contaminates the essence, making the recirculated energy of low quality. That is why the teachers insisted on practicing with a serene mind, paused breathing, and reverent attitude. Sexual energy is highly sensitive to the emotional state. Your intention defines the frequency you raise. Another vital point is the balance between retention and liberation. Tao teaches that the excess of anything breaks the balance of the body. It is not about never releasing sexual energy, but about finding a healthy rhythm for you. A classic principle says, if after a liberation you feel strengthened and serene, it is correct. If you feel tired and empty, it was excessive. Self-observation and honesty with yourself will be your best guides. Likewise, we must not forget the importance of strengthening the physical body parallel to energetic practice. Taoists integrated qigong, stretching, conscious walking, and adequate nutrition to sustain the flow of refined energy. A strong and flexible body is the right vessel to contain and direct the subtle energy without wear. Finally, there is the principle of integration to daily life. The true mastery is not the one that is only experienced sitting in meditation, but the one that manifests itself in your day-to-day. More energy, mental clarity, emotional serenity, personal magnetism, and robust health. That is the true fruit of energetic transmutation. We can summarize this advanced stage in 3 Taoist keys. 1. Accumulate without stagnation. 2. Hold and move the energy constantly. 3. Refine the intention. 4. Practice with a serene mind and high emotions. 5. Integrate the body and life. 6. Strengthen the physical and bring the energy to each daily action. Whoever understands and applies these nuances not only preserves his physical youth, but also expands his energy field, generates natural magnetism, reinforces his immune system, and accesses higher levels of intuition and serenity. All wisdom, deep as it may be, only comes to life when it is embodied in daily practice. The ancient masters knew that constancy is the key that opens the portals of lasting transformation. Therefore, beyond theoretical concepts, it is essential that you integrate simple but powerful actions that activate, distribute, and refine your sexual energy to turn it into youth and constant vitality. Here I share with you 5 essential practices extracted from Taoist alchemy and adapted to modern life that will allow you to begin to experience the benefits of this energetic mastery from today. 1. Conscious abdominal breathing. Every morning, before starting your activities, sit comfortably with your spine raised. Place both hands on the lower abdomen, about 3 fingers below the navel. Inhale slowly and deeply through the nose, feeling how your abdomen expands like a balloon. Exhale gently through the mouth, letting the abdomen relax. Do this for 10 minutes. This practice not only activates the Tantin, vital energy deposit, but also oxygenates the sexual organs and strengthens the nervous system. Over time, your natural breathing will be deeper and your mind calmer. 2. Perineum soft contraction. During the day, at any time, walking, sitting, or working, gently contract the pubococcygeal muscle as if you wanted to stop the urine. Keep the contraction for a few seconds and relax. Do series of 10 to 20 repetitions. This action strengthens the lower closure of your energy body, avoiding energy leaks, and stimulates the circulation of the sexual qi to the spine. Taoists said that this exercise ignites the lower caldera, reviving the vitality of the whole organism. 3. Interior smile and massage. Once a day, lie down or sit relaxed and bring your attention to your internal organs: heart, lungs, liver, bladder, kidneys. Smile internally to each one, sending a feeling of appreciation and gratitude. Then, gently massage the area of the kidneys on the lower back with the palms warm. This massage activates the energy of the Jing, stored in the kidneys, strengthening the vital reserve. 4. Energy recycling, microcosmic circuit. Before going to sleep or after abdominal breathing practice, perform the recirculation. Slightly contract the perineum. Inhale, visualizing the energy ascending through the spine to the crown. Exhale gently, feeling how it goes down from the front of the body to the abdomen. Repeat 9 to 36 times. This technique redistributes sexual energy to the entire system, avoiding stagnation and nourishing organs, glands, and brain. 5. Conscious moderation and personal rhythm. Listen to your body. It is not about repressing sexuality, but about finding a conscious balance. If you decide to release sexual energy, either in a partner or in self-exploration, do it without compulsion and with full presence. Observe how you feel later and adjust your frequency according to your energy needs. Remember the Taoist principle: what accumulates and does not flow sickly, what disperses uncontrollably, exhausts. Virtue is in balance. Integrating these 5 practices, you will cultivate, day by day, a radiant vitality, a serene mind, and a rejuvenated body. You do not need long hours or isolated retreats. Only small conscious acts that, repeated constantly, transform your energy field in a profound way. Throughout this journey, we have explored a knowledge that, although millenary, resonates today with an urgency and a clarity that we cannot ignore. We have unearthed a secret that does not belong to any time, because it is timeless. Sexual energy is the most powerful source of life, and whoever consciously dominates it dominates his youth, his vitality, and his destiny. In a modern world that overvalues the external, expensive treatments, drugs, surgeries, and ephemeral stimuli, ancestral wisdom reminds us that the true source of rejuvenation is inside, in the way we cultivate, conserve, and refine our vital essence. The ancient wise men did not seek to escape from time, but to inhabit it with fullness, vigor, and lucidity, bringing their body and spirit to levels of mastery that seemed unattainable for the common of mortals. Today, you have that key in your hands. You have understood that sexual energy is not just a biological impulse, but the alchemical elixir that can feed each cell of your body, expand your mind, and awaken your spirit. You have learned that, through simple but profound practices, such as conscious breathing, energetic recirculation, organ massage, and intelligent moderation, you can turn a daily act into a ceremony of self-healing and self-expansion. But beyond the techniques, the most important thing you take is a new perception of yourself. You are more than a body that ages. You are an alchemist of energy, a potential master who can decide every day whether to spend or cultivate, whether to disperse or nourish, whether to age prematurely or to rejuvenate from the depths of his being. Always remember, youth is not a stage of life. It is a state of the energetic field, when your energy flows freely, when your vital essence is preserved and transformed. Your body radiates health, your mind clarity, and your spirit serenity. If this message has resonated in the depths of your being, share this wisdom, expand this energy, and allow others to also remember this map towards longevity and natural vitality.